10 p.m. in the studios of UBC TV. Hello there, and welcome from me, Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, to our second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV. First though, let's have a look at what's making headlines at this hour. In our top stories tonight, Speaker of Parliament Among declares personal wealth. KCCA to change street light system due to vandalism and theft. Women in livestock farming empowered on access and administration of vaccines. And in sports, Jacob Kiplimo wins the USPA Sportsman of the month of February. Hello there and welcome once again. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. Now, the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has urged members of Parliament to comply with the Leadership Code Act and declare their wealth. Now, this after the Speaker declared her wealth and assets to the Inspector General of Government. Ms. Among, who tasked the IGG to double mobilization efforts, reiterated the need for public servants to promote a culture of transparency and accountability. We have more in the following story.
The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has fulfilled the mandate of declaring assets and liabilities as a prerogative of the Leadership Code Act 2002.
We are duty-bound to make the public know what we are doing, what we have, and what is expected of the public from us.
The process was witnessed by the two respective deputies in the office of the Inspector General of Government, including Anne Mohaire and Patricia Achan Okiria.
And as you know very well, the corruption which is here today has become a vice. It is a vice like homosexuality. So this vice must be stopped, must be reduced by us being accountable to our people.
Speaker Among has tasked the IGG to spread the gospel of declaration of wealth to the local population and also undertake thorough verification of the declared assets in order to realize benefits.
Somebody will think it is just an activity that should take place, but they need to know the advantages and the disadvantages of why one should declare and the benefits that it has to a country like Uganda. And you find most people get frustrated because they cannot declare because of the system. So you need to ensure that the system is on. Even when you do declaration, we know you're doing a very good job. So you've got so many people, you've recovered a lot of money. Timely prosecution of these culprits, the perpetrators, is very, very important.
In the same spirit, the Office of the Inspector General of Government also publicly submitted their respective assets and liabilities demonstrated by Patricia Okiria, the Deputy IGG.
I need on behalf of my team.
Okay.
We have recovered like property abuse or misuse by leaders out there, and we have put them to task to pay back.
The initiative is part and parcel in the fight against corruption in Uganda.
Now, when it comes to verifications, it requires a lot more work because we are now doing detailed background checks to ensure and ascertain whether what someone declared is commensurate with his well-known sources of incomes. And in so doing, we come across people who have under-declared. You have 21 houses, you have declared only 2.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gwitabinji, UBC News.
Kampala City Authority, KCCA, plans to change installation of streetlights batteries following vandalism and theft of the batteries, bulbs and solar panels along a number of streets, causing darkness in the night. The spokesperson KCCA, Simon Kasiate, says they lose up to 30% of the infrastructure they install on streets to vandalism.
Kampala Capital City Authority has reiterated its commitment to the street light and master plan to take into account the provision of street lighting up to the tune of about 42,000 street lights. KCCA has installed 1,742 solar street lights in the city.
Several months, we've added some more than 500 new street lights. We have also carried out some rehabilitation works along the street lights of what we term as the presidential corridor, around the area of the presidential lodge in Nakasero, right to the exit onto Entebbe Road and all the other accesses.
However, some of these lights have been lost to vandalism and theft. People have persistently dug out the batteries, climbed and removed the panels, plus bulbs.
The solar panels were on the ground. That was too accessible. Then we made an attempt to put them somewhere suspended in the air. They are finding them there together with the panels. So we're looking for more ingenious ways of protecting our infrastructure, thinking of ways, some of which were to change locations of where we place these batteries. But wherever we put them, the vandals are finding them there.
Kasiate says KCCA cannot promise that it will replace the vandalized lights immediately. This is done through their routine maintenance program and requires when a budget has been done for it.
It's still work in progress, it's still ongoing. And beyond installation, by the way, we also go ahead to do routine maintenance of these lights. And that's how we get to appreciate the ones which have been vandalized, the ones which have maybe broken down because of many other vagaries. And we try as much as possible to always, within the available resources, to replenish them.
He has, however, urged members of the public to change their behavior, love the installations because they are for their own safety.
Importantly, we're making a clarion call for behavioral change. I mean, why we say, beyond enforcement, so to speak, beyond all these other, sometimes impracticable ways of protecting our infrastructure, maybe let's speak to the minds and hearts of our citizens and say, Banange, these installations are ours. Let's have pride in our own city and allow it to light, as opposed to stealing bulbs.
I'm Navka Farida and Stephen Kalisia in Kampala.
Now, the Environmental Police Unit has pledged support to the National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, and KCCA towards implementation of anti-litter policy. Fred Enanga, the police spokesperson, confirms the special arrangement of issuing express penalty scheme tickets for violating the policy.
Kampala City Authority, together with the National Environment Management Authority, announced the 1st of April 2023 as the day to commence operation against those littering the capital Kampala. All motorists are required to carry a dustbin. Environment Police Unit has committed support towards enforcing the operation.
7 more days that are being counted towards the enforcement of laws and regulations on littering and noise pollution. As you are all aware, the environmental crimes of littering and noise pollution have become an epidemic in our country. You find our environment, streets, roads, gardens, compounds, drainages are all plagued with litter, where you find pedestrians, revelers, people for parties, motorists dropping litter. The public should know that littering an environment is a crime, and there are laws which exist that are supposed to help keep our country clean.
Police commitment entails usage of security cameras to track down those littering and enforce express penalty scheme tickets for those deviating from the demands of the anti-litter policy.
The public should know that if voluntary compliance on littering and noise pollution is not obtained by April, the 1st of April 2023, our environmental protection officers are going to proceed with the enforcement process, which typically includes imposing EPS fines on littering and illegal dumping, as well as noise pollution. And then other penalties can involve in charging people to court, especially where they are repeated defaulters and violators of these environmental crimes.
In other development, police in Chengera Town Council, Wakiso District, is holding one Bale Habib, 28 years, a teacher of City Blessed Kindergarten, for defiling 4 children, one of 4 years, that of 11 and 13 years, and another one of 7 years old.
And he's been doing this since the month of September last year till March this year, where one of the victims took courage and narrated her ordeal to the parents, and the matter was brought to the attention of the head teacher and the police. We managed to arrest the suspect, whom we have charged on 4 counts of aggravated defilement.
In Busia, police arrested Milton Erima, a cook at Matibila Primary School, over defiling 3 kids.
This Erima Milton, being a cook, used to lure these young girls with food and also very small gifts. So he would then find a space where he could defile the girls. So when we expanded the investigations, we noted that he had defiled 3 girls, all aged 12.
In other sex-related cases, police in Nigeria are holding Derek Pakcho while hunting his 3 accomplices for sodomizing a 16-year-old male juvenile. Abdul Nasser Lubama and Marion Awori for UBC News.
The International Crimes Division Court in Kololo has set the 27th of March 2023 for conferencing of the matter, where legislators Muhammad Sejirinya and Alan Sewanyana plus 5 others are accused of murder, terrorism and attempted murder. Now, this followed an application for an adjournment by the accused Alan Sewanyana through his lawyer Samuel Muyizi, citing that he's still admitted in hospital.
Legislators Muhammad Sejirinya for Kawempe North and Alan Sewanyana for Machinde West, and therefore co-accused persons Jackson Kanyike, John Mugera, Bull Wamala and Mike Serwada have appeared at the International Crimes Division Court in Kololo to proceed with the hearing of the case against them of murder, attempted murder, terrorism, among others. Before Justice Iscom Hanji, legislator Alan Sewanyana could not make it for the court proceedings due to his poor health condition, although he made an appearance at court.
Due to health challenges, we could not proceed. The Honorable Sewanyana had come in the precincts of court for 2 purposes: to seek for permission for him to travel from court to Nairobi for further management of his health conditions. Also appreciate the status physically with their own eyes of accused persons, so as to believe that we are not infringing on the rights of their clients who are still in prison.
With this, through his lawyer Samuel Muyizi, Alan Sewanyana prayed to court for long adjournment so as to seek medical attention.
My instructions from him, my lord, was to seek for an adjournment at least for a month. So we've reached an amicable understanding as counsel, both for the state, for A5 and A6 and other accused persons, that we at least give this matter a period of 3 weeks, after which we shall come back to this court ready to proceed with the pre-trial conference.
Prosecution and other lawyers had no objection in the prayers.
Lord, we don't want to be perceived as persecutors in this respect. As such, we shall have no objection to the adjournment, since health is very critical.
Justice Komhanj granted the accused Alan Sewanyana's prayer and adjourned the matter to the 27th of March 2023 for pre-trial conferencing. Legislators Muhammad Sejirinya for Kawempe North and Alan Sewanyana for Machinde West, with their co-accused persons Jackson Kanyike, John Mugera, Bull Wamala and Michael Serwada in the International Crimes Division Court in Kololo, are facing offences of murder, attempted murder, terrorism, aiding and abetting terrorism, among others. Rebecca Natongo, Susan Nabukude, UBC News.
Women in livestock farming have been empowered on access and proper administration of vaccines. This was through a set of participatory action research project, the Livestock Vaccine Innovation Fund, LVIF, undertaken in Karamoja sub-region as well as Sembabuli, which are predominantly agro-pastoral smallholders within some mixed farming systems. Now, the project addressed barriers faced by women in livestock vaccine systems in Uganda. We have more in this story.
Understand that women smallholder farmers, those who keep chicken, those who keep goats, really play an important part in society.
Access to veterinary services is important in Karamoja and other cattle corridors. Livestock is a primary source of livelihood. Gender is often overlooked in animal health programs. However, given the socio-cultural intricacies of Karamoja, ignoring these factors may hinder animal vaccination.
Why are we talking about the livestock vaccine value chain? In our experience, when we first came to Uganda, we met women in the communities whose animals were dying of PPR. PPR is a goat disease. We also met many families whose animals were dying of Newcastle disease. Newcastle disease comes, it sweeps through the community. People think that's normal. They lose their animals and then they start keeping animals again.
Now, Canada International Development Research Centre, Global Affairs Canada, and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has supported the development of affordable livestock vaccines targeting diseases that impact women and men, livestock keepers, and facilitates their access and use at scale.
And specifically in the Karamoja context, we wanted to look at women from different ethnic groups. So our research questions, our main research questions were how gender intersect with ethnicity and what kind of barriers this intersection creates to women's access to vaccines or vaccination activities and the participation.
The project assesses the state of women's empowerment and gender parity on the vaccine value chain, identify the key entry points along women stakeholder farmers and entrepreneurs. Abim woman member of parliament and chairperson agriculture committee in parliament, Janet Akech Okolimoy, says the intervention to support women in livestock is timely.
Many livestock value chains, right from production up to the end point of sale of the product, quite often leave out women and other vulnerable groups. So I am happy that your research and project targets exactly these marginalized and vulnerable groups.
Professor Anthony Mugisha from the College of Veterinary Medicine, Makerere University, is the co-principal investigator of the project.
A lot of hope if our findings are implemented, because one, the issue of using the people in the community to be fully engaged, not outsiders, but fully engaged, especially the area of poultry and goats, which has been marginalized. There is a lot of hope. I wish I could convince the government, but this one could be a big component in the parish development model.
The livestock vaccine value chain, women and other marginalized groups like minority ethnic groups, the elderly and disabled have less access to vaccines, as well as limited ability to influence decision-making on vaccination and animal health within the households. Joseph Bule reporting.
It's coming to 20 minutes after 10 in the studios of UBC TV. We'll now take a short break and return with much more. Do stay with us.
Sent transport to the wrong person. Here's how to reverse it with MTN Mobile Money. Dial *165#. Select My Account. Select Initiate Reversal. You will see your last 3 transactions. Select the transaction you want to reverse. Enter your mobile money PIN and you'll get an SMS confirmation that the transaction has been blocked from being withdrawn. And that's it. Please note, only transactions that haven't been withdrawn can be reversed.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
This is our family's pride.
This is my friend.
This is the future of our nation.
She is the future of Uganda, and the policies I enact today
will protect her from teenage pregnancy.
She is the hope of our community, and I will talk to others about how we must protect her.
She is our family's pride, and I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Their support meant so much to me. I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
Get the most affordable 4G smartphone in Uganda from Airtel. Now heavily discounted from 250,000 shillings to 150,000 shillings only. Yes, 150,000 shillings only to keep you connected to your loved ones.
Dial *175*94# to activate free 1 GB instantly and 100% double data on all weekly and monthly bundles for 3 months. Get one today while stock lasts from the nearest Airtel shop. With Airtel, the smartphone network.
Did you know that you can safely and conveniently make your school fees payments anytime, any school, anywhere using Airtel Money? Oh yes! Simply pick up your phone and dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Choose between school pay, peg pay, or shore pay. Enter student number. Enter amount, confirm name and transaction. Enter Airtel Money PIN. A confirmation message will be sent to you upon a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. My name is Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. Women leaders in the NRM party have called upon parents to strongly denounce acts of homosexuality, which seem to be on the increase in Africa. Led by the Deputy NRM National Treasurer and Head of Women League, Lydia Wanyoto, the leaders have delivered this year's message ahead of Women's Day. Robert Onyango reports.
Uganda will join the rest of the country on Wednesday, 8th March 2023 to commemorate this year's International Women's Day.
I want to thank very much the government of Uganda, which has given a woman opportunity to serve in very, very many areas, but also different opportunities, especially in accessing education.
This year's theme is Equal Opportunities in Education, Science and Technology for Innovation, and a Gender Equal Future. In line with this year's theme, the NRM women leaders say this is the only way to empower women.
Without technology, you may not do much. Every organization, every small business, I'm even seeing that if you want anything, even if you want food, you just use technology to order for any kind of food. You can even order it from Europe, from America, from where. But now we are saying, can our children, our sisters, our daughters in the villages, can they do what we are doing now?
I want also to congratulate the president because he has been one of the champions trying to encourage girls to join science and technology in schools, to take up science and technology. So we feel is really been an example.
The world has gone global in terms of virtue and in terms of technology. We would like to call upon women in Uganda to up the game of training in technology, not to fear sciences, because that's where the world is leading and that's where business is.
This was during a news conference at the party secretariat in Kampala.
And when you look at every political elected positions in the government, they are held by women. And so as leaders of NRM, women, we are very proud that women are fully participating in the government and also in the things that affect us mainly as women.
The address was dominated by condemnations on promotion of homosexuality in the country.
When you look at the women, girls are going with fellow girls. Where are they going from? Where are they? Which part are they using? When you see a man going with another man, you ask yourself, which part of the body are they using?
That as we mark International Women's Day, we call upon mothers of Uganda, mothers of our family, to make sure that we do not only speak about homosexuality, let's make sure that we monitor our children and our neighbors' children to ensure that that vice does not even start or they are not attracted to them.
Also, any school which is going to be in this, government should bring on book and should be penalized for carrying on being this homosexuality. And mostly this homosexuality is common in single-sex schools, whereby all parents need to talk to the teachers, the administrators of those particular schools which are mentioned normally practicing homosexuality.
World over, Women's Day celebrations is a platform for appreciating the contribution of women in shaping societies. This year's celebrations in Uganda will be held in Kiruhura district. Robert Anyango, UBC News.
Thanks, Robert, for that story there. Now, State Minister for Planning in the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Amos Lugolobi, has opened the Uganda-Namibia benchmarking meeting, where the Namibia delegation is expected to learn from Uganda's success story on its implementation of the Africa Peer Review Mechanism activities for the last 20 years. The 6-day benchmarking and study visit is being conducted here in Kampala.
Uganda is among the best case studies under African peer review mechanism since Uganda joined 20 years ago. This has attracted the Namibia African peer review mechanism delegation officials led by Ambassador Linekela Mboti to Uganda to share this experience. The State Minister for Planning, also National African Peer Review Mechanism focal person Amos Lugolobi, has encouraged the delegates to come up with better strategies of transforming people's lives in their respective countries.
All these are assessed, socio-economic transformation for the people. So all these areas are assessed. And then the peers have to point at one another to say, here you are not doing well. Here you are doing so well. So that is the whole essence of the Africa Peer Review Mechanism.
At the 6th summit in 2003, heads of state in Abuja, Nigeria, resolved to establish the African peer review mechanism to advance the economic and social transformation in member countries. The Uganda delegation, led by Dr. Albert Byamugisha and National APRM Coordinator Slavia Ufoyuru, said although in the last 20 years Uganda has successes, there are challenges.
Make proper versions in all the country review reports that were produced by this country and the national program of actions which have been produced, because all those reports have been assessed. Our president has been assessed by his fellow colleagues, and the actions that have come up as ones we are trying to implement.
Those actions are centered on 4 pillars. One of them is democracy and political governance. The other is corporate governance, where we're looking at the institutions, corporations, private sector. The other is economic governance.
The Namibia delegation also highlighted some of their expectations from the Uganda experience.
But what is more important about Uganda for us, to answer the why question, is one, you have succeeded in producing 2 base review reports.
I think through that, we have had quite a strong link to issues related to youth unemployment on the continent.
The APRM converges members of the academia, civil society, public and private sectors, youth and women, among others. I'm Nafka Farida and Juko Collins.
Okay.
To Entebbe now, where security in Entebbe has arrested the director of Standard Junior School and closed it for alleged illegal operation with unqualified teachers. According to Deputy Resident District Commissioner, the school has been illegally operating with no license from the Ministry of Education and Sports. They have now arrested the director, Onyango Oscar, and directed all teachers to record statements at Entebbe Central Police Station, including the Katabi Town Council officer who issued illegal operational license.
The Deputy Residents Commissioner in Entebbe says they received information that his Standard Junior School is operating without license.
The below part, where you're supposed to put bricks, they are iron sheets. On top, they are iron sheets. Now imagine if the fire breaks like today, what would happen to those kids?
They visited the school to assess the situation, only to find out that the school has no administration block and the entire school in bad state.
The school cannot operate without license or all clearance from the Ministry of Education, because it has been operating illegally and we have detained the director.
The school has got 6 teachers who are not qualified and use one room to teach different classes.
When you don't have qualified teachers and you're operating a school, then you don't expect any performance in such schools. Yes, so I urge you and I advise parents to be careful where they take their kids. They should always get a background check about the school.
The Deputy Residents Commissioner Jacqueline Kankunda said people's lives are in danger.
At the case of fire, in case there's an outbreak of fire today, those kids will perish, because when you look at the structure themselves, the kid cannot survive.
Nathan Wafula, Director of Studies, Standard Junior School, said the school started last February and needed guidance instead of arrests.
But the problem is when they came, they didn't give us chance to explain. They didn't give us time to talk anything. They just said that first hold on until we get further clarification. But I thought that they could first wait and first give us some warning or some directives.
Standard Junior School, located in Katabi Chitubulu, newly established this February 2023 with over 100 to 120 pupils from nursery to primary 7. Sula Kagugube, reporting for UBC News in Entebbe.
Thanks, Sula, for that report. And now we'll take yet another short break and return with the latest in business.
Sent transport to the wrong person. Here's how to reverse it with MTN Mobile Money. Dial *165#. Select My Account. Select Initiate Reversal. You will see your last 3 transactions. Select the transaction you want to reverse. Enter your mobile money PIN and you'll get an SMS confirmation that the transaction has been blocked from being withdrawn. And that's it. Please note, only transactions that haven't been withdrawn can be reversed.
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Hello? Hello? This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Hey, Kasozi, my brother. Long time. We last met when we were at campus. It's been a while, but you are the person I'm looking for.
Campus? Really?
Hey! You don't remember me?
Okay, so how can I help you?
I'm stuck in Gulu making millions and I need to urgently send money to my sick mother. But I can't find any mobile money agent near me. I've sent the money to your phone, as you can see the message. It might take a few minutes to come through, but I urgently need you to send the money to my mother. Let me send you her number and you send it to her chap.
My friend, I'm afraid your mom is going to die.
What?
Because I don't know you, I never went to campus, and I'm also in Gulu. So can we meet at CPS, we talk about it?
Stay tuned for what Kasozi does next.
Tofera, refrain from unnecessary engagement with strangers over the phone. This message is powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
It's true what people say. that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Welcome back from that break. Let's have now the latest in business. The low uptake of loans under the Agricultural Credit Facility and the Small Business Recovery Fund is hampering government's efforts to get at catalyzing recovery and strengthening the small and medium enterprises. This has been disclosed at a workshop organized by Bank of Uganda for participating financial institutions, heads of credit, relationship managers and credit officers responsible for implementing schemes. We have more in this story.
Small and medium enterprises in Uganda grapple with numerous challenges, and key among them is the cost of money. Over the years, government, through the Ministry of Finance and Bank of Uganda, have strived to provide liquidity assistance.
That's why our initiatives like the ACF and the SBRF are very, very crucial, and we're here today to ensure that they are working as effectively as possible. One thing I would like to assure you that Bank of Uganda on its own cannot reach the intended beneficiaries. So we are working through the participating financial institutions, and that's why we want to hear from you. How best can we reach the last mile of the beneficiaries?
However, some of the intended goals are yet to be achieved due to various bottlenecks. For instance, Small Business Recovery Fund for businesses worst affected by the COVID-19 pandemic has faced the lowest uptake, with less than 7 billion shillings disbursed out of a total available fund of over 100 billion shillings.
The non-stringent collateral requirements, and this is really the conversation that we need to be having. How can we shift from looking at collateral in that sense? You have to have a land title to looking at other things, especially because now there are so many interventions that are de-risking the farmers or de-risking the business community. If there's agriculture insurance, that is something that you should be able to look at, to de-risk. The warehouse receipt system works very well. If somebody should be able to borrow against their stock in the warehouse, present that receipt and get a loan.
Participating financial institutions are partly to blame for the failure to reach many potential beneficiaries due to red tapes within their organizations.
There is goodwill. There are institutions happy to find supporters crack these challenges together with the regulator so that we can finance and support that particular sector with its statistics that supports the entire economy and unlock the opportunities that exist there.
The workshop organized by the Central Bank is therefore intended to build synergies, develop strategies, and find workable solutions in improving the uptake of loans under the Agricultural Credit Facility and the Small Business Recovery Fund. Dennis Igoa and Charlotte Amuge for UBC Business.
Private Sector Foundation Uganda Chief Programs and Project Officer Damali Sali has launched Women Katale Season 2 in honor of Women's Day. She says over 100 women small and medium entrepreneurships will showcase their business entities. The media launch was held at PSFU head office in Nakasero here in Kampala.
The signifies a major milestone for the hundreds of beneficiaries to these women's enterprises.
Whereas the ladies have gone through the program, we've understood how their businesses are, we've tried to support them in terms of understanding their financial management, we've given them some of the tools that they need to use to understand and calculate how to measure and understand their profits, their losses, scaling their businesses.
The ladies testify of a remarkable impact that the 4 months accelerator program has had on their enterprises.
We were able to get the practical skills we need in the business. For example, they taught us how to pitch.
When I started the accelerator program, I had no idea of anything. I was a farmer for years, but I would just grow and sell, but I did not, they helped me to do record keeping. I attended the literacy class, financial literacy, and also how to manage my business.
Training methodologies of cohort 2 and 3 of these business accelerator programs will be fine-tuned based on the success points of cohort 1.
We've made a bit of changes with the second and third cohort in terms of bringing forward some of the final things we did. Like we introduced the element of investor documents in the very last sessions. We now believe that from the time the enterprise walks into our door, they need to be familiar with the investor document, because whereas it may look straightforward to us, it is not as straightforward to everyone.
The graduates are now investor ready and can qualify for financing should their business pitching attract potential stakeholders.
We'll take yet another short break and return with what's happening in the world of sport.
Did you know that you can safely and conveniently make your school fees payments anytime, any school, anywhere using Airtel Money? Oh yes! Simply pick up your phone and dial *185#. Select option 6, school fees. Choose between school pay, peg pay, or shore pay. Enter student number. Enter amount, confirm name and transaction. Enter Airtel Money PIN. A confirmation message will be sent to you upon a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at what's happening in the world of sport. Jacob Kiplimo has won the USPA Sportsman of the Month of February. Kiplimo was voted by sports scribes amidst stiff competition from the national basketball and badminton teams, among others. Here is our sports reporter with more on that.
Back out to the front again is the 2022 African champ over the 10,000 metres.
After his triumph at the World Cross Country Championship, winning gold, Jacob Kiplimo has been voted as the February sports personality. At the monthly gala at Imperial Hotel in Kampala, sports scribes had the best from the month of February in the women's basketball team, who finished runners-up at the Zone 5 Afro-Basketball badminton player Fadila Shamika, who won gold in the All-Africa Senior Badminton Tournament in South Africa, only for Kiplimo to win the accolade. At the same event, USPA introduced 3 new categories, including the Promising Talent Award, the Sporting Award, and the Supportive Assist Award.
Today we entered another milestone where we've upgraded our monthly categories, and now there are 4. The Sports Personality of the Month, that is the customary award that intends to initiate the best for the month, but we've been more inclusive now and we expanded it in 2 other awards, the Supportive and Assist Award, that captures the unsung hero. One may not have the shine, light and appeal, but their contribution is monumental. The Promising Talent Award that today went to Eriko Foyuru, obviously and decidedly, involves and generates interest in those upcoming talent, the budding talent that have made a contribution, and their levels of growth and dedication are sound and clear.
Uganda Sports Press Association OSPA crowns monthly sports best, whom one is selected as the best in a particular year, depending on the performance and magnitude.
To tennis now, and the Uganda National Tennis Championship 2023 was officially launched and kicked off on Sunday, the 5th of March 2023 at the Lugogo Tennis Courts, with 8 players progressing to the next round. The championship has attracted over 20 players who will vie for the ultimate title for the next 8 weeks.
After last year's successful edition, the Uganda National Tennis Championship 2023 has officially started. The 8-week knockout competition was launched and set off on Sunday, 5th March 2023 at the Lugogo Tennis Courts. Uganda's #1 seed Frank Tayewa started the competition on a high, defeating Francis Agonzebwa in Game 1, 2 sets to 1. Other winners of the day included Troy Ziwa, Paul Sekandi, Remy Chimanji, and others who have all progressed to the next round of the championship.
I'm really happy that the championship has started today. I won my first match in the group. It was quite an easy match for me, and I hope I will maintain the same win. The championship is going to help me keep up with a good performance by playing various people to keep me more engaged in the game.
This is our 2nd edition. We held a successful one last year and had our winners making it to France and doing us proud. So we believe we are going to have a replica of, and even much better of what we had last year. The qualifications were wonderful. We had massive across the country, people coming in to join. And we have our top 16 men and top 8 women here today for the launch. And I believe we are going to have a very, very competitive season. Everybody wants to go and have the exposure in France. And I believe it will go a very long way in helping that sport of tennis to grow in Uganda, but also to help the athletes get the opportunity to get the exposure that we envisage for them.
I've done a lot of training to ensure that I've made it to the finals and I've won my finals. I've put in a lot of hard work. I've trained a lot, so it has helped me through winning this qualifying, and I'm hoping to do well in the main draw.
But when someone comes out to organize such a tournament and we, the young players, enter to join the tournament, it makes me happy to improve on my skills in case we get like tournaments outside Uganda. Yeah, I know we can make it when we practice through this tournament.
This year's competition has attracted over 20 players and will return next Sunday, with the winners of last weekend facing off for a spot in the next round. The next games will be played at the Makerere Tennis Courts on the 12th of March 2023. Grace Joyce Kemigisa, UBC News.
It's coming to 10 minutes to 11, and we've finally come to the end of this second and final edition of News Tonight. But before we leave you, let's have a quick reminder of our top stories.